John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and what we're going to do today in this episode is actually we're going to do another juice off comparison. I really love doing comparisons for you guys. At the same time, I get to experience the machines and see how they work and explain them to you guys, because I know you guys that are watching this are probably looking to buy a juicer and you don't know which one to buy. Well, you found the right place to look, because I have over 400 videos where I compared the juicers side by side, explaining how they work too, but not only explaining how they work, putting my money where my mouth is and actually juice equal amounts of produce in each machine so that you guys could determine and see how they work. This is invaluable to people doing research on the juicers, and I wish, every product that I went to buy had a guy like me demonstrating it, comparing it side by side, so that the consumer, you guys, can get the best machine for you, because it's so often that one juicer manufacturer or another will say our juicer's the best and buy this one. So there's no one juicer that's always the best, but there is a best juicer for you that you will discover after watching some of my many videos. I do recommend an hour-long video where I go into the pros and cons of all the different juicing styles and methods out there to give you guys a familiarity with all the different types of extractors. In any case, if you guys appreciate my work and all the juicer comparison demonstrations that you have watched or will watch from me, I want to encourage you guys to support me in my work by making your purchase at DiscountJuicers.com. This actually enables me to continue to make the juicer videos and my other online educational videos teaching people about eating and growing more fresh fruits and vegetables, which are the best foods on the entire planet that unfortunately most Americans and people around the world simply do not eat enough of. And the juicer is my #1 favorite tool to supersize the fruits and vegetables in your life, to gain a higher level of health and more successful, and weight loss where you could actually keep off the weight and not get it back. So today we'll be comparing the Omega VSJ843 and the Omega TWN30S. The Omega TWN30S is Omega's latest juicer on the market. Now this is a twin gear juicer, and over on this side we have the vertical single auger style juicer. Each of these machines have their own unique set of pros and cons, and let's go ahead and go over some of those as I explain how the machines work. First, we'll start with the VSJ843. As I said, this is a vertical single auger juicer. What does that mean? That means you put the produce down the feed chute, which is actually rather large there. It actually then gets put into this auger. The auger goes around and has basically 2 different areas that will somewhat slice the produce up, but it's not really a blade, and then chop it up into smaller pieces, and then this auger is spinning. It works its way down the auger, and the auger really crushes and squeezes the juice out. As the pulp is squeezed, the juice comes out and flows out this screen here, out the front of it, and then on the inside of it, the pulp is ejected over on this side, and the juice that comes out the front comes out this spout here. And we have an automatic wiping blade. So I like this wiping blade because it does tend to clean the screen a bit, so that your screen cleanup at the end of juicing is easier. And so this machine takes me about 3 minutes to clean approximately. This is the easiest single auger vertical style juicer on the market that I've found to date. Also, please note, this is a 2nd generation vertical single auger. They've deleted the hole in the bottom of the screen that virtually all other vertical single auger juicers on the market have. Now this is a major stoppage point. It could get clogged up with pulp and cause massive amounts of extra pulp in your juice, as well as cause the machine to stop up and in some cases actually break, as I've actually done in the past. This machine also makes the least amount of pulp of any vertical single auger juicer that I've tested. Now this machine has a full 15-year warranty. I like the vertical single auger, and I want to let you guys know that it is my favorite style machine on the market, just because it's basically a good compromise between performance and price and speed. And in the terms of juicing, the reason why I like it is because it is one of the most versatile juicers on the entire market. The vertical single auger in most cases, and especially in the case of the VSJ843, the latest Omega vertical single auger juicer, it juices a wide range of produce, from hard vegetables to leafy greens to fruits, even to wheatgrass and sprouts. It will juice these guys on up. And in many cases, some style juicers, for example, centrifugal ejection style, those are the high-speed ones that sound like an airplane taking off in your kitchen. You know, they may be good at juicing things like hard vegetables. They're actually quite excellent at that. But they're really poor at juicing leafy greens, and pretty much juicing wheatgrass and sprouts is non-existent. Doesn't really even do those guys. And then fruits are alright in that style. But this one pretty much is a well-rounded, well-balanced machine. It's like if you have your husband or wife and they're a jack of all trades, they just do a bunch of stuff, they always know how to do it. You go to them to fix your toilet or your electrical, right? Or maybe you have a friend like that. This juicer is the one that I want to go to juice most things in my life. And consequently, this is the one that sits on my very counter that I use the most in day-to-day juicing. In addition, this also is very simple to clean. It takes me under 3 minutes to clean this guy. And, you know, I could juice within 15 minutes and have it cleaned up and be out the door if I gotta, you know, go to catch an airplane or something. Okay, so a little bit different story on the TWN30S. This is known as a twin gear juicer. How this works is you're gonna put the produce in this little feed chute here. And if you take a look at the feed chute is significantly smaller than the feed chute on the VSJ. So what this means is you will have to chop up things into smaller pieces so that it fits in this machine. Let's go ahead and take this guy apart and show you guys how it works. Inside this machine, the heart of this machine, are these two little miniature gears. So these gears spin around at 160 RPM. The VSJ actually spins around at 43 RPM, so that's like 3.7 times faster on this guy. And you know, in my opinion, the lower the speed of a juicer, the quieter it's going to be, and also in general, you know, the more nutritious juice it will make. That being said, you know, the difference in RPMs between this and that, I don't think it's significant. You know, anything over 1,000 or 2,000 RPMs is getting pretty fast, but even at 100 or so, I don't think that's a major deal. But how this works is these gears are spinning around kind of like inside of a transmission in a car, for those of you guys that work on cars. And literally the produce, when you put it in there, it gets sucked in between these gears, and it literally crushes and squeezes out the juice, much like the other machine. So in this one, what happens is you put the produce in here, it first grinds it up, it works its way down the gear, and then after it gets to this point where you got the juicing screen, that's where the juice drips out and the pulp comes out the front. That's how this guy works. So this guy actually has kind of those two little blades in there that kind of chop off produce as you put it in there, say a carrot for example. On this guy, you got to literally push the carrot into these gears to like grind it away. It's kind of like the same principle if you're grinding something on a bench grinder, right? That's kind of how slow this thing works. Whereas this one kind of chunks off a piece, you know, like taking our teeth, you know, and choosing on up. On leafy greens, you know, this guy actually just sucks the leaves in, which is actually kind of a nice feature. I like that a lot. Now this style machine generally will work better with hard vegetables. It's going to get a higher yield overall than this machine on hard vegetables. Also going to do very well with the leafy greens. You know, I haven't tested a comparison side by side of these, but it's going to be really good. These also do the wheatgrass and the sprouts very well, although they do tend to make a little bit of foam when juicing them. And if you want to juice straight fruits, this machine is going to fail. It's not going to be good at juicing fruits, so this one is not as versatile as that guy. Now, if you want to juice fruits with your vegetables, it's going to definitely work fine. You know, fruits alternated with hard vegetables or the leafy greens. So this machine takes me a little bit longer to clean than the VSJ843, although it does actually have a less screen area to clean because this does not have an automatic wiping blade. I find that pulp really gets lodged in the screen, and you really need to take a special cleaning brush, screwdriver end at the end of juicing, and literally, you know, get that stuff, dislodge it from the juicing screen. And it looks like I didn't even do that good of a job, and I have a little bit of pulp left in there from last time. Let's see. Other than that, This has a few more nooks and crannies to clean as well, so it's going to probably take a bit longer. Now to assemble this guy, we're going to go ahead and first put in the screen, and this part with the hole goes up. Then we're going to go ahead and align the gears. There's a red dot on one and 2 dots on the other. You're going to have to line it up, make a triangle. And you're just going to go ahead and roll that in there. Next, one of the features I do like about the TWN30S is it has this little spring tensioner. So there's a little spring on here, and the job of this tensioner is to keep the pulp inside the machine until it's fully wrung out and dry, and only then does it let it out. On the VSJ, actually I didn't show you guys that, but that's the job of this little silicone flap that always should be in when juicing, and you're going to go ahead and remove it, you know, when cleaning. So that this flap keeps the pulp inside the VSJ and lets it out as needed. And then that's what the same thing as spring tensioner does. And in general, you know, on hard veggies that make it through the machine, this guy will get the pulp more dry. Go ahead and put that guy on, and then go ahead and put this cap on. So there you have it. Those are both the machines. Each one of them have their pros and cons. Basically, this one's a lot easier to clean, a lot more versatile. This one is likely going to get higher yields on things like the hard vegetables, like the carrots, and also leafy greens and wheatgrass. Although, you know, if you're juicing the wheatgrass and the greens by themselves or without too many hard vegetables, I would recommend a horizontal single auger style juicer such as the NC800, which will actually even produce less foam than the twin gear. So the TWN30S has a 15-year warranty, as does the Omega VSJ843 15-year warranty, supported by Omega, one of the longest standing juicing companies in America today. And I want to stop there and really talk about the warranty. You know, Omega has come to the plate, you know, with warranties for the customers to let you guys know that their machines are quality. Both these machines are made in Korea, which is where, you know, some of the slow juicing technology originated from. You know, there's many knockoff machines out there nowadays, and a lot of them are being made in China. And maybe they're made in other places, but the majority of the ones I've ever seen in my life are made in China. And I'm not going to say anything's wrong with that. You know, China puts out some really good production sometimes, but a lot of the, I want to call them knockoff machines, try to look like this and, you know, and work like this. They cost a lot less than one of these guys, you know, the knockoffs. But the way you're going to know a knockoff is by the warranty, because the Chinese manufacturers just put out cheap stuff. And this is cool if you want a disposable juicer, right, that may last. It may break sooner rather than later. It may make a pulpier juice. You will not get the highest yield. But, you know, you guys get what you paid for. But with the Omega brand, you get a quality product with a full 15-year warranty on these two guys. And that's very important because, you know, to me, juicing is an integral part of my life. I would rather you guys take away my car so I couldn't drive from point A to point B than take away my juicer. Because a juicer is my #1 tool to increase my health. It allows me to supersize the volume of fruits and vegetables that I can consume. So in a minute, we'll be juicing 2 pounds of carrots in each of these juicers. And while I couldn't sit there and eat 2 pounds of carrots, I could easily drink the juice from 2 pounds of carrots, which is approximately just 2 cups. So I could get all the nutrition out of the carrots and into me, you know, and this is what's really important to me, is maximizing the amount of fruits and vegetables. People are supersizing their Coca-Colas and supersizing their hamburgers, and these are the foods that, in my opinion, are causing big problems in America today. If you look around, you're seeing the big problems, right? 66% of people in America today are overweight or obese. Supersizing high-calorie foods such as junk foods and animal foods, you know, causes people to get big, and they're basically being overfed with calories but undernourished in good solid nutrition. And that's why the machine, the juicer, is the best tool to increase the volume of fruits and vegetables that you're probably not eating anyways. Even if you don't make any other dietary changes, if you just start and get on these fresh fruit and vegetable juices minimally just in the morning for breakfast and keep up whatever you're doing the rest of the day, eat your junk food or whatever you want, I don't really care, you will see a benefit. And hopefully that one single benefit will start to, creep on, because you're like, man, John, whenever I drink that juice, I feel so good. And then when I have, like, my lunch, my hamburger or whatever I'm eating, I don't feel good. And I just like the feeling of feeling good all the time. And another thing I'll share is that, you can't put a price on how good health feels. I mean, it's just priceless. And you don't know how it is to feel good, because you're always feeling bad. And until I really got on a healthy diet program, and over the years, I really don't miss not having stomach aches. I don't miss, sitting on the toilet for like 10 minutes and waiting for my my business to be done. Whereas nowadays I could go in and come out and my business is done. It comes out really easily, fast. I don't have to waste time. I have energy to do what I want to do, energy to play, energy to think, energy to garden. And I just have a lot more fun in life. So yeah, take your warranty seriously and get a machine with a long warranty, because it's the investment in your health. The juicer and it working is the best investment you can make in your health, so that you could have it day in, day out for the next 15 years in the case of either one of these guys. Get a cheap Chinese knockoff. They have usually short warranties, 1-year warranties, and watch out for this one. They'll have like 25-year motor warranty. Well, the motor is the most likely thing not to break on the machine. You really want to be concerned about the other 1-year warranty, because one of the parts that often breaks on some of these slow juicers is the juicing screen. And on the Omega juicers, if your juicing screen should break due to no fault of your own, you didn't drop it, you didn't, drop a screwdriver down your juicer or a knife or a fork, and it broke because you're just juicing carrots like you're supposed to, Omega's going to cover that under the warranty for you. And you're not going to have to buy another one like you will on many other brands of juicers. Some juicers, they have wearable blades, like the high-speed Breville juicers, right? When your juicing blade wears out on the Breville, right, you got to plunk down another $60 on another blade. That's never going to happen with Omega, right? So buy right the first time. All right, so the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is come back at you, and we're going to juice some carrots in both these machines. So now we're ready to juice. I have equal amounts of carrots in both these glasses, 31.9 ounces exactly, so just about 32 ounces overall, which is 2 pounds, so we could juice even amounts in both these machines. Now today, I'm going to be juicing the purple carrots. I've been on a purple carrot juice kick ever since I learned that there's a lot of nutrition and benefits to having purple carrots, one of which is that they are high in antioxidant pigments known as anthocyanidins, and they've done some studies with the purple carrots and shown that even if you don't eat anything else in rats, but include the purple carrots in even your junk food diet, the rats lost weight. So this is how powerful purple carrots are. In addition, besides probably being able to lose weight easier, purple carrots are quite anti-inflammatory, and like all carrots, the purple carrots also have anti-cancer properties within them. Literally, nature is our pharmacy, F-A-R-M-A-C-Y. In every different plant food, there are a whole spectrum of different, phytochemicals and phytonutrients. To me, these are the most important nutrients in the plant foods, not necessarily the vitamins or minerals, which are a good side benefit. But as new emerging research comes out, it's going to be shown that these phytochemicals really have a big part to play in our health. And that, they're going to be seeing that people are just not getting enough phytonutrients and they're phytonutrient deficient. So I don't want you guys to be phytonutrient deficient, and I'm sure as heck not going to be phytonutrient deficient now. So that's why I'm juicing the purple carrots, so I could keep and maintain my weight and minimize the inflammation in my body. And also they're good anti-aging foods as well. So first we're going to go ahead and juice in the Omega VSJ843. We're going to go ahead and start a timer so you guys can see how long it takes. Alright, so it looks like we're just about done. We got a total of 2 minutes and 40 seconds approximately. still running after you put the last carrot in there. I like to let it run a little bit and extract all the juice. And keep the juicer running until the pulp stops flowing out the machine. It's still flowing ever so slowly, so I think I'm going to give it a few more, 30 seconds to run. Alright, let's go ahead and turn that baby off. Next, we're going to go ahead and tip this guy up, see if there's any extra leftover juice in there. A little bit. I'm going to go ahead and let that guy, we're going to go ahead and close this guy. Now we're going to go ahead and reset, and we're going to go ahead and juice in the Omega TWN30S. Now, I believe this is going to take me a bit longer because on the VSJ843, I got to drop the carrots in. For the most part, I would let it the auger come around and chunk off big parts of the carrots. If I just dropped in carrots, it'll actually just stop and clog up. It only actually happened to me once where that happened, where the motor stalled. So I'd actually just let the auger come around, take a little chunk off, and then pull it back up. And feed it at a slow rate as not to overfeed the machine so it doesn't actually stop on me. And with that, I was able to juice in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Next, let's go ahead and juice in the TWN30S. I'll have to actually push each carrot into the machine. This is going to take me a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, that's it. Let's see where we're at. Well, look at that, man. Nearly 5 minutes. It took me almost like double the time, like 2 minutes and 48 seconds, 30 seconds. It's 5 minutes in this guy, man. Twice as much time. The question is, did we make twice as much juice? Let's go ahead and turn this guy off and check it out. So, this is basically the thing, right? This took a lot more like downward pressure to push the carrots in. Took a little more elbow grease and some wrist power. And whereas this one was a lot easier to sit there and drop the carrots in. This is going to save you time. This is probably going to get you a higher yield, like we're going to take a look at in a second. Let's go ahead and see if we get any juice drops off this machine here. Move that juice out, and let's go ahead and move this juice out. Let's go ahead and do a close-up for you guys on the yields. Alright, let's go ahead and do a close-up on the juices here. So as you guys can see, over on the Omega TWN30S side, looks like we made just under 500 milliliters, maybe like I'll call it 490 milliliters of juice. And over on the VSJ843 side, looks like we're just about at the 400 milliliters mark. So you guys just saw that the Omega TWN30S beat the Omega VSJ843 by about 90 milliliters. Now that's just the sheer yield. Now I always like to strain out the yield to account for any difference made up by pulp in the juice. So let's go ahead and do that. We got 2 glasses, and we got 2 of the same strainers to strain them out. We got 1 funnel. So first, let's go ahead and strain out the juice from the VSJ843. Pretty fine consistency. I'm not seeing a whole lot of pulp being collected thus far. I mean, there's definitely some, but I've noticed the VSJ actually breaks down the pulp to make it actually quite smooth, so that actually it's not really detectable when you taste it, so it's not that critical, to filter it out if you don't really like pulp too much. There is a fair bit of pulp in there after straining it out. See if we can leave that guy sit right there on top. Next, let's go ahead and strain out the TWN30S juice, twin gear by Omega. Once again, starting out with very little pulp there as I'm continuing to pour. Actually, still not a lot of pulp. Still pouring, and we're going to overflow the glass here in a minute. And basically, this is pretty telling. Although the TWN made only 90 milliliters more, actually after accounting for some of the pulp, I definitely would say the difference is larger, maybe 100 milliliters, 120 milliliters overall, just because of the volume of the pulp in the VSJ, was, a lot more actually. Of course, last thing I gotta do is I gotta try the juice to see if it tastes different to my taste buds. VSJ843, that's a good juice. I could definitely taste the sweetness on the TWN30. I can't really taste the difference. They taste like purple carrot juice to me. Both super delicious. So at the end of this juice off, I'm going to have to declare the winner. It's a tough one, because if I always went by just yield, I'd have to declare the TWN30S the winner of this juice off. But to me, juicing is more than just the yield, because, yield is only one factor that you guys should be taking into consideration, when buying a juicer, because you'll be using this juicer day in, day out for the next, hopefully, 15 plus years on one of these guys. So yield is one factor, and I know some of you guys are cheap, very cheap or frugal, let's say frugal people. You want to get every last bit of juice out of the produce. So if you're that kind of person, you probably want to go with the TWN30S. To me, I'd rather, get most of the juice out, but be able to juice in literally half the time, 5 minutes versus maybe 2.5 minutes, and also clean up in much less time in the VSJ843. So for that reason, I'm going to have to go ahead and declare the winner of this juice off comparison, the Omega VSJ843. It made 90 milliliters less juice, but it took half the time to juice it. It was a lot easier because I didn't have to push things in there. Also, this machine is less expensive than the TWN30S. Both have 15-year warranties. And this machine overall is more versatile. Like if you're going to juice leafy greens and hard vegetables, this is it. But if you want to include, fruits and make straight cantaloupe juice sometimes, and cactus fruit juice sometimes, the VSJ843 got your back on all those things. So if you guys enjoyed this juice off comparison, I want to encourage you guys to support me and my work by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. This directly goes to support me so I can continue to make the videos like you saw today. Also, be sure to check my past episodes. I have over 400 episodes on this YouTube channel dedicated to sharing with you guys the different appliances that allow you to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables in your life, including many comparisons on the juicers. Also, be sure to like this video and give me a thumbs up. If you liked it, this will motivate me to make more juice off comparisons in the future, since there's not enough people doing this, or not even to the level that I'm sharing with you guys the equipment and explaining the machines to you. And be sure to click that subscribe button right down below as well to be notified of my new and upcoming episodes that have coming out about every 5 to 7 days. You never know what kind of juice off I'll be doing, or if I'll be showing up at a trade show, sharing with you guys all the new juicers coming out for the year, or just giving you some of my tips and tricks that I've learned over the last 21 years now that I've been on a juicing fruit and vegetable style diet. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors. Alright, this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and what we're going to do today is get to compare two juicers against each other head to head in this juice off spectacular. So the juicers that we have today are the Omega NC800, which is